Destiny allows us to play in many different ways, and each way can be enhanced by Buildcrafting, which is inserting mods into our armor pieces and using fragments within our subclasses to enhance our playstyles. With the release of Lightfall, we have gotten the Armor Charge system, a single buff that can be used in a variety of ways. We also have generic mods which affect our weapon stats and ammo economy. You know me as Snorlax, and let's break down this system, and if you like what you see, you know what to do. So within each armor piece, helmet, arms, chest, leg, and class item, we have what I would class as 4 different types of mods: generic, special, generating, and consuming. Generic mods are plentiful and are based on weapon ammo type, weapon damage type, or incoming damage type. Your weapon ammo types are special and heavy, and the 2 different types of mods that can use these categorizations are only found on the helmet. These are the special and heavy ammo finders. These mods increase the chance of that ammo type dropping during combat. Final blows with primary weapons, and especially exotic primary weapons, increase these drop chances. Stacking these mods increase the amount of ammo gained by each brick. For any veteran players, this is just like how scavenger mods used to work. These ammo finder mods are great for builds where you want to use a lot of special or heavy ammo, and need that extra help to gain more ammo off of enemies. Special and heavy scouts. These mods mean that whenever your ammo finder mods grant an extra ammo brick, that brick is also dropped for your teammates. Without the mod, all ammo bricks generated are only available to you. This is a great mod if you're using an exotic primary within your build, as you will have an increased chance of heavy ammo drops and will also grant extra heavy ammo to your team. Most of the other mods within the generic category use weapon damage type. Each weapon has a damage type matching a subclass: solar, void, arc, stasis, and strand, or none, which is a kinetic damage type weapon. As well as the ammo finders on our helmet, we have siphon mods. These create an orb of power on rapid weapon kills based on that weapon's damage. You can choose which weapon damage to use from the mods. So kinetic siphon, rapid kinetic weapon final blows grant an orb of power. Rapid final blows are 2 or more final blows within quick succession. Arc siphon, rapid arc weapon final blows grant an orb of power. And then you have the same mod for solar, void, stasis, and strand, as well as a mod called harmonic siphon. This is a cheaper version of the mod which works with weapons matching your subclass. So if you're solar, harmonic siphon will give rapid solar weapon final blows, will grant an orb of power. The helmet is also home to our targeting mods. These give improved target acquisition, accuracy, and aim down sight speeds for certain weapon types. Working the same as siphon mods, we have harmonic targeting, kinetic targeting, solar targeting, etc, etc. We're already up to 3 different types of mods, and we've only talked about generic helmet mods. How can we possibly use all these mods? Well, in short, you're not really supposed to. Each build you're going to make will have a purpose, and some mods will work to that purpose and some will not. For example, you may not like using weapons too much and prefer using your abilities much more, so you wouldn't use siphon mods to create orbs of power. You'd use a mod that is based on your abilities. Not using the siphon mods allows you to use other special, generating, or consuming mods within your helmet. There are 3 mod slots to choose from on each armor piece, so you'll have to pick which one to use purposefully. So staying with our helmet mods, we have the special helmet mods. Special mods don't use weapon damage types and are mainly based on ability usage. There are 3 of these on the helmet, and each one reduces your super cooldown based on a different action. Ashes to assets, this grants super energy on grenade kills. Hands on, this grants super energy on powered melee kills. And Dynamo, casting your class ability near enemies reduces your super cooldown. For our generating mods, the green ones, these are mods that allow us to gain armor charges or affect our armor charges. There are 2 on the helmet, and these are Radiant Light. Casting your super grants nearby allies 1 armor charge. If your ally has a different subclass to you, you grant them 2 armor charges instead. Powerful Friends. Collecting an orb of power grants nearby allies 1 armor charge. Now we move on to the consuming mods. These are mods that use armor charges in one of 2 ways. Blue mods cause armor charges to decay while providing a buff, and yellow mods consume armor charges in whole to provide a buff or another benefit. These mods also allow us to gain an armor charge when we pick up an orb of power. On our helmets, we have 1 consuming mod, which is the Font of Wisdom. This provides a boost to our intellect, which is our super base regenerate, while we have an armor charge. The armor charge will decay while you have this mod slotted. The decay is for 10 seconds for each armor charge, so without any other mods we can hold 3 armor charges, meaning if we pick up 3 orbs of power, we can have a 30-second buff to intellect. There are fonts for each of our stats: intellect, mobility, resilience, discipline, strength, and recovery. A single font mod is the equivalent of adding plus 30 to that stat, and can decrease cooldowns past what 100 in that stat would give, but with diminishing returns. For example, if 70 discipline has a cooldown of 1 minute 48 seconds for solar grenades, adding a font of discipline will reduce that cooldown down to 1 minute 16 seconds. However, if you started at 100 discipline, which has a cooldown of 1 minute 16 seconds, and added a discipline font mod, the cooldown would only reduce by a further few seconds. You can stack font mods, so 1 will give plus 30 to a stat, 2 will give plus 50, and 3 will give plus 60. So although you can maximise the cooldowns for certain abilities, stacking the mods and going over 100 isn't the most effective way to spend your mod slots, as each mod costs a certain amount and you only have 10 energy to fill. I would say having a base stat of 70 before using a font is the best value for money option, as you don't face any diminishing returns. So, we've covered what each of our categories mean: generic, special, generating, and consuming. And we've gone through all the mods available on the helmet. Let's pick up the pace and go through all of the mods for each of the other armor pieces. On our arms we have 2 different generic mods. Weapon reloaders. These increase the reload speeds for different weapon damage types. Weapon dexterity mods. Grants faster ready and store speeds for different weapon damage types. There are quite a few special mods on the arms. We have Fastball. Increase grenade throw distance. Firepower. Grenade final blows generate an orb of power. Heavy-handed. Powered melee final blows generate an orb of power. Momentum transfer. Causing damage with grenades reduces melee cooldown. Impact induction. Causing damage with melee attacks reduces grenade cooldowns. Bolstering detonation. Grants class ability when causing damage with a grenade. Focusing strike. Grants class ability when causing damage with a melee attack. There's one generating mod called Shield Break Charge. Breaking a combatant's shield with the same damage type grants you an armor charge. And we have 4 consuming mods. 2 blue ones. Font of Focus, granting a bonus to discipline, our grenade recharge time, and Font of Vigor, granting a bonus to strength, our melee recharge time. There is also grenade and melee kickstart. These mods will return grenade or melee energy when you use all of your grenade or melee energy, and will give you more energy back if you have armor charges. The mod will consume all the armor charges you have, giving back 15% at 1 armor charge, 30% for 3 armor charges, and 42% for 5 armor charges consumed. You can stack the kickstart mods, but the increase isn't double or triple. 1 armor charge consumed is 23% with 2 mods or 30% with 3 mods, and 3 armor charge consumed is 36% or 42%. Onto the chest mods. The generic mods on our chest piece mainly relate to incoming damage. We have our damage resist mods, one for each of the elements including a harmonic option, as well as concussive dampener for reducing incoming splash damage, melee resist to reduce close quarters damage, and sniper resist for any damage coming in from a long range. These resist mods only work in PvE activities and do not work in the Crucible. There are unflinching mods, which reduce incoming flinch from enemies and guardians while using a weapon of a certain damage type. Again, there is a harmonic option for these too. We also have the option for reserve mods on the chest. These mods increase the amount of ammo you can carry based on that weapon's damage type, with an option for harmonic reserves. There is only one special mod on the chest, and this is Loosened Blade, a buffed version of what it used to be, as it increases sword heavy attack recharge rate and glaive shield generation. The generating mod option for chest is Charged Up, allowing you to carry one extra armor charge, and this can be stacked. We have two consuming mods on the chest. A blue mod, Font of Endurance, granting a bonus to Resilience, which reduces the amount of damage you take from PvE enemies, increases your total shield HP, and for Titans, reduces the cooldown of their class ability. Emergency Reinforcement is a yellow mod and will consume 3 or more armor charges when your shield breaks, and it will grant you an overshield when this happens. The more charges consumed, the longer that shield's duration. I'd really only use this mod by itself and for really harder content. I wouldn't want another mod consuming my armor charges and dropping me below 3, as then Emergency Reinforcement wouldn't work when I needed it to. Leg time. There's only 2 generic mods on the legs. Scavengers, which grant a bonus ammo for particular weapon damage types. So one Arc Scavenger mod will mean you get increased ammo from ammo bricks for both your special and heavy weapons, if both of them are arc weapons. Holster mods. These slowly reload weapons of a specific damage type when they are holstered. There's harmonic options for both of these mods. Within the special category on the legs, there are a number of mods which provide a benefit when picking up an Orb of Power. There's a mod for each of your abilities, grenade, melee and class ability, as well as a separate one which reduces the cooldown of all of them, or even a mod which reduces the cooldown of your ability with the least energy when you pick up an Orb of Power. There's a mod to gain a flat amount of health when you pick up an Orb of Power, or one to start regenerating health instantly when you pick up an orb. With the number of orbs us Guardians can create, these mods are amazing and cheap enough to use multiple on our leg slots. The generating mod on the legs is Stacks on Stacks, which grants an extra stack of armor charge when picking up an Orb of Power. There's 2 blue consuming mods on leg armor, Font of Agility, granting a bonus to mobility, which affects how high a Guardian can jump and their strafe speed. For hunters, mobility affects their class ability. The other blue consuming mods are multiple weapon damage surge mods. These mods increase weapon damage for specific weapon damage types and cause your armor charges to decay, just like with the font mods. There's no harmonic option for the surge mods. Surge mods increase weapon damage by 10% with one mod, 17% with 2, and 22% increase in weapon damage with 3 mods. Okay, onto class item mods. There are no generic mods on the class item, but there's quite a few special and a lot of consuming mods. So let's get into it. There are 3 special mods on the class item which reduce cooldowns when using your class ability. One for melee, one for grenade, and one that reduces all ability cooldowns when using your class ability near targets. There's a mod called Reaper, which creates an Orb of Power on the final blow after using your class ability. There's one called Proximity Ward. This grants you an overshield while you are performing a finisher. There are 2 generating mods. Empowered Finish, which is when you finish an enemy, you gain 1 armor charge if you have none. And Time Dilation. This causes decaying armor charges to last 5 seconds longer. Onto the consuming mods. Utility Kickstart. This works the same as the grenade and melee ones, but for your class ability. Gain class ability when your class ability energy is fully expended. Consuming more stacks grants more energy. And Font of Restoration grants increased recovery while you have an armor charge. Recovery is how quick our HP begins to regenerate and affects the Warlock class ability cooldown. There are 9 finisher mods on the class item. Each one consumes armor charges. There are 3 which reduce our abilities after finishing an opponent and require 3 or more armor charges to work. There's 1 for grenade, 1 for melee and 1 for class ability. There's 1 mod which reduces the cooldown of your least charged ability and requires 2 armor charges. A mod which will generate special ammo for the whole fire team on finishers, consuming 2 armor charges. There's 1 that will provide an overshield after finishing an enemy, requiring 3 or more charges for longer shield durations. Snapload finisher only requires a single armor charge and reloads your weapons when finishing an enemy. Healthy finisher also only requires 1 and heals you when you finish an enemy. And finally, benevolent finisher. This spawns orbs, multiple, of power when finishing an enemy. None of these finisher mods can be stacked. Whew, that's a lot of mods. So how do you make a build? Well, to use the armor charge system, you need to get charged. To do that, you need to equip a consuming mod, a blue or yellow one, which allows you to gain armor charge stacks when picking up an orb of power. Then, you need to create orbs of power. These are created through the weapon final blow mods, the ability final blow mods, or the Reaper mod. Seasonal mods will allow other options to gain armor charges. For example, collecting a fire sprite will grant armor charge. Once you've picked your mods to do this, fill the rest of the slots in to best suit your playstyle or even your exotic armor or weapon. I'm currently making a build showcasing the new system and will upload that one shortly, so make sure you're subscribed to stay up to date. Now eyes up, Guardian, go make some builds and show the witness who's boss. You know me as Snorlax, I'll catch you later.